Washington, China is developing one of the greatest nuclear weapons forces in history, while Russia will exploit every opportunity to undermine the US and its allies, according to the annual threat assessment by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. In a stark, declassified 31-page document, the report released late Monday by the House Intelligence Committee says Iran will continue to threaten American interests as it seeks to erode US influence in the Middle East. At the same time, North Korea is committed to expanding its nuclear arsenal and ballistic missile development, according to the assessment. In the coming year, the United States and its allies will face an increasingly complex and interconnected global security environment marked by the growing specter of great power competition and conflict, while collective, transnational threats to all nations and actors compete for our attention and finite resources, according to the document. The nation's top intelligence chiefs will present and expand upon the assessment when they testify before the House Committee on Tuesday. Speakers will include Avril Haines, Director of National Intelligence, CIA Chief William Burns, General Paul Nakasone, Head of the National Security Agency, and FBI Director Christopher Wray. The annual assessment represents a consensus among the nation's 17 intelligence agencies of major threats confronting the US, and is used by lawmakers and policy makers as a baseline to make critical decisions, advance legislation and craft budgets. The assessment is dated, however, as it was written before Russia invaded Ukraine last month and was based on information available as of January 21. Lawmakers are certain to press the intelligence chiefs for the most current assessments and implications of Russia's invasion during Tuesday's hearing. Still, the assessment warns that Russia is determined to dominate Ukraine and other countries in the near term, while not wanting a direct conflict with American forces. Reassess that Moscow will continue to employ an array of tools to advance its own interests or undermine the interests of the United States and its allies, according to the assessment. We expect Moscow to insert itself into crises when Russia's interests are at stake, the anticipated costs of action are low, or it sees an opportunity to capitalize on a power vacuum. The Chinese Communist Party, on the other hand, will work to press Taiwan on unification, undercut US influence, drive wedges between Washington and its partners, and foster some norms that favor its authoritarian system, according to the document. China's threat China will continue the largest ever nuclear force expansion and arsenal diversification in its history, as Beijing isn't interested in agreements that restrict its plans and will not agree to negotiations that lock in US or Russian advantages, according to US intelligence. China's efforts to control Taiwan, a self-governing island which Beijing claims as its territory, will probably ensure more disruptions to the global supply chains for semiconductor chips. China will remain the top threat to US technological competitiveness as Beijing targets key sectors and proprietary commercial and military technology from US and allied companies and institutions, according to the document. Other issues highlighted in the report include, while Iran is not currently undertaking key nuclear weapons development activities that would be necessary to produce a nuclear device, if Tehran doesn't receive sanctions relief, officials probably will consider further enriching uranium up to 90%. Negotiations to revive a 2015 nuclear accord with Iran are believed to be in their final stages at talks in Vienna. North Korea remains strongly committed to expanding its nuclear weapons arsenal and continuing ballistic missile research and development. North Korea's continued development of arms, and SLAMs demonstrates its intention to bolster its nuclear delivery capability, according to the assessment. The terrorist groups Islamic State and Al-Qaeda will take advantage of weak governance in Afghanistan to continue to plot terrorist attacks against US persons and interests, including to varying degrees in the United States, and exacerbate instability in regions such as Africa and the Middle East, the assessment states. Adblock test Y.